They had been shooting since sunrise, and the targets were still standing. Steel silhouettes shimmered in the desert heat, untouched, unmoved, mocking every trigger pull. One by one, the best Marine snipers on the range stepped back from their rifles, frustration tightening their jaws. Wind was steady. Distance was measured. Calculations were perfect. Yet round after round failed to deliver a clean hit. Asterisk, what city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more stories about extraordinary people. That was when she raised her hand. No one noticed at first. She stood at the edge of the firing line, quiet still, wearing the same standard fatigues as everyone else. No patches that stood out. No rank that demanded attention. Just a young woman with calm eyes, waiting for permission in a place where confidence was usually loud. This story is about the moment no one saw coming. In the shot no one believed was possible. The training range sat deep in the California desert, a place where mistakes were exposed and reputations were forged under the sun. This was not a demonstration for recruits. This was an advanced joint evaluation, attended by Marine Corps snipers with combat deployments etched into their posture. These men had proven themselves in real conflicts, under real fire. The challenge that morning was simple in theory and brutal in practice. 3 steel targets aligned at different distances, staggered across a narrow angle. The task was to neutralize all 3 within seconds, adjusting for wind, drop, and deviation. No trick optics. No electronic assistance. Just skill several snipers had already tried. None had completed the sequence cleanly. Whispers moved along the line. Some blamed the heat. Others blamed the range setup. A few muttered that the targets were misaligned. Pride was taking quiet hits with every failed attempt. She had been assigned as a data observer, tasked with recording wind shifts and shot placement. That was her official role. No one questioned it. She looked young. Too young, some thought, to be anything more. When she finally stepped forward, a Marine instructor frowned. "This is a sniper evaluation," he said flatly. "Observers stay back." She met his eyes without challenge. Permission to attempt one shot. A few snickers broke out behind her. One Marine shook his head. Another crossed his arms, already bored. "One shot will not solve 3 targets." The instructor replied. "It will," she said. The range fell quiet. Not because they believed her, but because confidence spoken that plainly demanded attention. After a long pause, the instructor nodded once. "1 round," he said. "Then you step back." She moved to the rifle with practiced familiarity, checking the chamber, adjusting the stock, settling behind the scope. Her movements were efficient, stripped of anything unnecessary. No theatrics. No rush. A Marine nearby leaned toward another and whispered, "This should be interesting." She ignored them all. Through the scope, the world narrowed. Wind brushed across her cheek, steady, predictable. Distance aligned in her mind not as numbers, but as relationships. She was not thinking about 3 targets. She was thinking about physics, timing, and trust in preparation built long before this moment. Her breathing slowed. She did not adjust again. The rifle fired once. The sound cracked across the range. Sharp and final, for a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the first target dropped. A fraction of a second later, the second target fell, then the third. 3 steel silhouettes collapsed in sequence. Struck by a single round that carried through alignment no one had considered possible. Silence followed. Heavy and complete. No one spoke. No one moved. The instructor stared downrange, then back at her. His face had lost every trace of skepticism. "That's not possible," someone finally said. She stood up, cleared the rifle, and stepped back without a word. The range erupted. Marines crowded the targets, inspecting angles, measuring impact points, replaying the shot in their minds. The bullet had passed through the first target, retained stability, clipped the second at a precise angle, and carried just enough energy to drop the third. It was not luck. It was calculation layered on experience few could match. The instructor turned to her again, this time with respect. "Where did you learn to shoot like that?" She hesitated, then answered simply, "I was trained not to miss." That should have been the end of it, but curiosity had been unleashed. Questions followed her back to the staging area. Rank was checked. Records were pulled. The truth spread quietly, then all at once. She was not an observer by skill. She was an observer by assignment. Her background included classified operations, joint task forces, and a record that explained everything without boasting. She had been placed there to watch, not to perform until performance was required. The Marines who had dismissed her earlier stood a little straighter now. Some apologized. Others simply nodded, understanding that respect did not always announce itself. Later that day, the instructor addressed the group. "Skill does not always look the way you expect," he said. "Today you saw mastery speak once, and let the results explain the rest." She left the range the same way she had arrived, quietly, without ceremony. No one tried to stop her. No one needed to. The targets were already down. The lesson stayed. Sometimes, the most powerful force in the room is the one that does not need to prove itself. Sometimes the shot that changes everything is fired by the person no one was watching. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.